from the Cannon Academy. We are a homeschool, and I am a homeschool grandmother. And this is my second take on this video because the hum in the background from my computer is driving me crazy when I review the videos. But I did want to put this out there. There are a lot of people out there transitioning over to homeschool this year because of the COVID scare and all the changes at their schools and things, and a lot of people are kind of uncomfortable with the e-learning and things like that. Not to say that learning on a computer is bad, it's just with work schedules and babysitters and things like that, it seems to be a little difficult to find the time or to deal with several students doing that. So I wanted to go over with you how to do 180 days because that is what is required here in the state of Indiana. Now what I did was, and this is just an example, you can change it up any way you like, take off the days you want in any given month, start when you want, end when you want, as long as you cover your 180 days. Okay, so that being said, I decided I would use a chart back to a schedule that I kind of like, because once the students I have find out that you get vacations like summer breaks and things like that, they no longer want to do year-round school. But up until that point, they're willing to learn all year around, which would be well over 180 days. So starting after Labor Day, I decided September has 30 days. I subtract 7 so we could start on the 8th of September, which gave us 23 days. Then I added the 31 days for October for a total of 54. November has 30 days, which brings us up to 84. But I took off 5 days for Thanksgiving, and even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, that's okay. You can still take 5 days. I did a day ahead, the day of, and the day after, along with the Monday and Tuesday following. So you would have 7 if you counted your weekend. Just ignore the 5. That gives us 79 days. December has 31 days, which takes us up to 110. And I took 14 off for holidays, giving us a total of 96. Now, in most instances, people would call that your first semester. So I put 96 days for the first semester. Then I added the 31 days of January, which took us to 127. But I decided not to start in school back until till the Monday after New Year's. So I subtracted 4 days, looking at the calendar and adjusting ahead, and subtracting that for a total of 123 days. February, having 28 days, takes us up to 151 days. And then March, having 31 days, would give us 182 days, which, as you can see, gives us 2 extra days to play with. Now, you're probably thinking that's a short school year, but I did the 180 days. Now, say that your family wanted to take a winter trip for the whole month of December. Take that off. Tack it on to the end. Maybe you'd like to take March off and go somewhere before the big spring rush and come back and finish school in April. That's okay too. Maybe you don't want to take Thanksgiving off. Maybe you want to take the week of Halloween off, or the first week in February, or something like that. Adjust it to your needs. Maybe you had something come up in the family where you needed to help take care of someone who was sick, or help someone out. As you take days off, add days on. This gives you plenty of time because most public schools and private schools do not end until at least May anyway. So that being said, as you can see, I would have time to take the whole month of April off and still do a month of summer school in May and still have the summer off. if I chose to. So this, when I get questions on different homeschool Facebook pages and things, or friends and reach out to me, or ask for friends of theirs, and they want to know just how do you plan your school day, when you start, when you stop. I'm like, it all depends on your specific family, your needs, your children's needs. Maybe you have a lot of doctor's appointments because you have a child who has special health issues, or an elderly parent living with you. You can account for that in your planning. And just because you figure it out like this and figure out when you're going to start and stop does not mean you cannot adjust it accordingly. Now, that being said, we come to the part where we try to figure out how many lessons we can get in 180 days. It basically works pretty much the same. And you can do it a couple different ways. Okay, there are curriculums out there who offer the whole lessons, and usually they have at least 160. Now, there are workbooks out there that say 180 days of math, 180 days of science, 180 days of reading, writing, so forth. 180 days of lessons for each subject. So, the 180-day workbooks allow one lesson per day. So that's all you have to do, one lesson of each. If you choose to do math and science 2 days a week, then you would need to account for that and adjust accordingly. So that would mean you would need to do, 5 days. You would need to do 2.5 lessons a day. So maybe 2 lessons one day and 3 lessons another day. So that's one way to look at it. Now, like I said before, there are several curriculums out there who offer 160 lessons. So it's 160 lessons. I'm going to put actual. At 1 lesson per day. I know my handwriting gets sloppy as I reach away. Okay, now, that being said, most of these curriculums have tests. And it's every 20 days. So if you divide this by 20, you're going to come out with 8. So 8. Okay, so 8 tests every 20 days. So the 8 tests is 168 days. So you would still need 12 days. Use those for reviews for the test. So 12 review days. Gives you the 180 days that you need. Okay, maybe you're not using something that shows you that every 8 days you have those. Maybe you have a science book that has 36 units. Okay, that's fine. So 36 Usually there are at least 36 weeks in a school year. So let's multiply that times the 5 days a week. There you go, 180. So, 36 weeks. So if you have 36 units, you have 1 unit a week. The old spelling books are like that. They have 36 lessons. And you study that one set of spelling words for a whole week. As an example, I know a lot of you out there remember those spelling books. As long as you divide it by the 180 days or 36 weeks, no matter how many units are in your book, you've got this covered. If you have a unit in a science book or a social studies book, maybe one unit has 5 lessons in it and another unit has 10. You don't have to worry about this. In fact, you can actually pick and choose which of those lessons you want to do and which ones you want to do maybe next year. You can actually teach a whole science and history book in just a few weeks if you like. Most of them have like 14 chapters with, like I said, 5 to 10 lessons. Some of those lessons are very short. Some of them are long. There are filler pages in there for other little extras. You can choose what you want to cover and what you don't want to cover. You can take that topic. You can do a thing where you read or take turns reading it with your child. Go back, answer a few questions, and maybe look somewhere else into a more detailed lesson. You can shorten the lesson. If this is something that you've done over and over and over every year and you feel like your child knows it, skip it, go to the next chapter. So this is the best way that you can work out the 180 days and how to do the lessons. Do it by days or by 36 weeks at 5 lessons a week. I will work this out. Lessons. Okay. Feel free to stop this, copy it down. You can figure this out on notebook paper. You can do it in a lesson planner. You can just do it in your head or on your calendar. Whatever is easier for you. Like I said, be flexible. Don't be afraid to change it up if necessary. As long as you can account for the 180 days. Keeping in mind that public schools, when you allow 180 days, they might make up snow days, but when your child is sick, they're just out that day. It's marked absent, but it was there. Homeschooling, it doesn't take as long as the lessons at private school because you're dealing with just a few children, sometimes just one. So you can get a lot more work covered in a lot less time. So I'm going to sign off for now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe below. Feel free to share it with your friends. Feel free to hit me up on Facebook. My name is Venus Cannon. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Have a good day.